Hey guys, so I recorded this several times trying to get it right. I finally felt like I nailed it, got off, and realized I had never turned my microphone on, so we're doing it again! Yay! Fuck! Son of a bitch. Hate it here. Absolutely hate it here. Alright, so, Vengeance from BJ Novak. I was very much pleasantly surprised with how good this movie was. I absolutely loved it. I think you should go see it. We'll talk about it. Let's get straight into it. This will be non-spoiler right now. We will talk about spoilers here. I hope there's a time that pops up. I haven't done the edit yet, obviously. Um, yeah, let's just get right into it, guys. You probably know BJ Novak as Ryan from The Office. That's where I know him from. I think that's where most people know him from. This was an absolutely fantastic movie from him, and basically everybody in it killed it. I don't think I was unhappy with anybody who acted in this movie. A lot of them unknown, some of them better known. Like we had Ashton Kutcher, who was just absolutely fantastic, best character in this movie by far. Loved him, absolutely great. Didn't expect to be saying the words Ashton Kutcher is my favorite actor in a movie in 2022, but here we are. Um, we also had the guy from the latest Predator film, which was awful. Don't go see that. He was better here. Still not. I don't know. I think I'm judging him from the Predator film. I liked him in this movie. I thought he was great. But so to keep it non-spoiler, because this is kind of a mystery thriller, this is going to be kind of short, but I hope you can get as much of it from this as you can that you need to be convinced to go see it. Just a couple of things. BJ Novak in this absolutely killed the definition of awkwardly funny. Not like, oh my god, this is so awkward, I'm gonna laugh to make it go away, but like they wrote an awkward character with the intention of being funny, and he absolutely nailed it. It was so good. I loved every moment of it. He was this picturesque, weird white dude from New York, and I loved every minute of it. I know people like this in real life. Absolutely great. Loved it to death. Um, this whole movie was just twists and turns, and it's funny because nothing was really there. There were a few rug pull moments, but for the most part, you kind of saw everything coming, right? But it's in this way where like you feel smart for seeing it coming. It's like oh yeah yeah because you remember back to this moment and you remember that and you kind of piecing stuff together, and some of it you get before it happens, some of it you get right as it happens, and it's just great. It's a perfect combination of what a mystery slash thriller should be. It's absolutely great. Um, a lot of it you actually get from the trailer, which the trailer really shows you a lot of what this movie is. It takes you from it's like, oh, I don't even know who this girl is, to yeah, this was just a normal day. I don't know why we're having a conspiracy theory, to oh my god, there is a conspiracy theory. And by the end of the movie there's some shifts and some rug pulls that I don't want to get into, but it was just it was great all the way around. I love the fact that it was all essentially this guy trying to make a podcast, which is the most white guy in New York thing you could ever do, which they state in the movie. Um, I actually learned a couple of things from this movie, like the fact that the New Yorker is a smaller magazine than the New York Magazine, which is funny because he kept very prophetically claiming he works for the New Yorker, like it was the bigger one, which I thought was just hilarious. Uh, I also learned that apparently I'm not the 80-year-old man inside that I think I am, because they made a Rebecca Black joke and I was the only person in the theater to laugh, but I was also the only person in the theater below 50. So, you know, I don't know. It made me feel young for the first time in like 10 years, and I absolutely enjoyed that. If you're too young to know who Rebecca Black and Friday is, fuck you. That's all. Let me just hit any of my non-spoiler notes here because honestly, I just want to get right into spoilers. This is a great movie and you should see it, and I don't want to spoil anything for you. Uh, okay. The only thing I want to hit here is one of the earlier scenes in the movie. It's this funeral scene where he goes and he has no idea who he has no idea who this girl is that died, right? He's no fucking clue who she is. And the only thing he gains from her knowledge wise during the funerals that she loved music, right? And so he goes up and they ask him to speak, and it's this whole thing, and he's trying to do this, like, I don't know anything about her, and he just talks about she loved music, and it reminded me so much, so much of my family growing up, and well, still to this day, I don't believed in this like angel healing spiritual crystal rock bullshit. And they would do at church on Sundays, they would do healings. And basically what it would be is that, you would go up and they'd put your hands on their shoulders and they'd reach up and they'd grab a message from spirit and they'd bring it down and they'd give it to you. And it was just like every like generic $30 fortune telling session where they just hit on generic things until something makes you go, oh. And at your 53rd relative, they would just be like, oh my god, yes, I do have a great granduncle from when I was 6 that I was sad when he died. Oh my god. And it was that exact same thing, and I loved it to death. It was so fucking funny. Oh my god. Yeah, I loved everything about this movie, from the cast to the acting to the story to the way it was done, and just everything about the cinematography was just fucking great. I loved every moment of this movie. I was so happy I went and saw this. I saw 2 movies yesterday. Saw this and Bullet Train. Bullet Train did not suck me in like this. I actually fell asleep during Bullet Train, I'll be real with you. But we'll talk about that in the Bullet Train review after I go see it again, because I don't remember half of it. But yeah, so with restraints on spoilers, let's just get right into the score. I am giving this movie an easy 8 out of 10, and I absolutely think you should go see it. On my 3-star scale, I am naming this my second only and first on video 3-star movie of the year. You should absolutely drop what you're doing this Friday. Go see this movie. It's fantastic. It's worth your time. You should see it immediately before you get spoiled on it. Absolutely loved it to death. Second best movie I've seen this year. Maybe 3. It's tight between second and third, but easily second or third best movie I've seen this year. Loved it to death. You should go see it. I'm Purple, signing off, going to spoilers, because that's what I really want to talk about. Have a good one. Alright guys, we're into spoilers. I know this is unusual for me. I'm all hyped up. I love this movie. I want to talk about it. Let's get right fucking into it as I break it down for you, and why I just absolutely fucking love this movie. Although I will say, if you're hoping for the ending, I'm not going to give it to you, but I'm going to give you all the pieces to figure out how it does end, and I hope you enjoy it. So, basically, Ben, our main character, is a writer from New York, writes for the New Yorker, and he is about the most basic bitch ass white dude from New York you've ever met. He's deep into hookup culture. He says 100% a lot, and he wants a podcast. So when a opportunity is presented to him, when he's in the middle of a late night fucking booty call, and he gets a call that says your girlfriend's dead, and he doesn't even know who the fuck the girl is, he gets awkwardly talked into going to Texas for a funeral of a girl he went on like to sleep with like twice. Has no idea who she is. Tries to explain this to her family, who don't want to hear it. Very awkward moment. He gets dragged out to this funeral, and it was just absolutely great. I loved it to death. It was such a perfect family memory for me. And then the brother reveals that this is all in the trailer, by the way, that he thinks it was a murder, right? And so he calls up his editor. He's like, look, I got an idea for this podcast. And she says, you know what? Fuck it. Run with it. Sends him the recording equipment, and he goes on for the rest of the movie to record everything he hears, sending it to his editor as it goes, and she's working on a show while he's living it live. And it's great. And the best part about it in him is that he is a journalist at heart. You can feel it. For all his awkwardness, for all his social anxiety, and not wanting to be involved with these people, he does like asking questions. And when he smells something's wrong, he goes after it. And you don't really feel that until the rodeo. Because after the rodeo, they're at the after party from the rodeo, and they're talking about the gangster who they think killed her, right? And they're all terrified of this guy, right? Because he's cartel related, and he's this big bad gangster. He kills people, blah blah blah. He's actually all but said he killed her, or Abilene, right? I couldn't remember her fucking name for a minute. The kids are all named after cities. It took me a minute. But he says, no, fuck no, I want to go talk to that guy. And he goes up and he's like, hey, I want to talk about Abilene. And the guy takes him in a back room, and they take his recording equipment. It's the only part of the movie that's not recorded, actually, which is really interesting. But he goes in. He wants to know. He's after the story. He is a journalist first, and I like that about his character because it's interesting and it's new, and it feels good, right? And you have this rug pull moment where you find out that this big bad gangster was at a fucking Adele concert the night Abilene was murdered, and he's absolutely broken up about her death. She meant a lot to him. They were good friends. He cared about her a lot, and he cannot believe that this would happen, right? And he also thinks it was a murder. Because he says, no, she's like, she wouldn't touch an Advil. There's no way she OD'd, blah, blah, blah. And that's where it gets serious for him. And it also gets serious for you, the audience, because you get this same feeling of, no. This big bad cartel dude's also saying the same thing as, the family. Something feels wrong here. And he pursues the story. And as he pursues the story, you, or at least I, became more and more convinced that she was, in fact, murdered. And, it's different things like his car exploding, which turns out to be a fucking angry Texas A&M fan when he said he liked the Longhorns, which is the most fucking Texas thing ever. It's absolutely great. And then he goes and she was a musician, and she wanted to go to New York to follow her passion in music, and he falls in love with her. Sorry, my door just made a really creepy sound. I didn't like it. Actually terrifying. Where's my gun? Texas moment. And you follow this whole thing all the way around, and you fall in love with her character the same way he does, because he doesn't know her, right? So he has to find out all about her. And as he finds out about her, we find out about her, and she's just this lovable person. And then you get another fucking rug pull when someone in the family finally lets slip that she was actually a drug user and a fucking pill popper, and she was an addict to a certain degree, and that she probably did just fucking OD, right? And I kept expecting this like modern movie moment of like, oh, here's the part where like he completely abandons all his values and he just fucking rolls with it anyway. Nope, he's like, you're all fucking crazy. Why the fuck would you lie to me about this? None of you wanted to admit that your fucking daughter was a pill popper and she probably just actually OD'd. What the fuck is wrong with all of you? Deuces, I'm out. Goodbye. And it's just great. I loved it. And then he unlocks her phone. The last night he's there, he unlocks her phone and he unravels the entire conspiracy, more or less. Goes to the party that happens every weekend, the party that everyone goes to and no one was at, and he finally confronts her killer. And it's kind of weird because you piece it together a little bit and you kind of go, I think, yeah, maybe. And then it's kind of the same thing for him. It's like he knows, but he needs to be sure. And he goes in and he talks to the guy and he straight admits it. He says, yep. He said, I didn't really kill her, I just covered up her death and blah, blah, blah. And it's fucking perfect. And this guy's talking about, doing the media tour about it. He's like, and it gets a little too fucking real in this moment. And I'm not going to tell you about the rest of it because, frankly, it was too damn good. I loved it too much. I know this is a spoiler section, but I refuse to spoil this for you. I absolutely loved the ending of this movie. I thought the last 10 minutes of this were just some of the best thing I've seen all year. Absolutely loved it. I want you to go see it. And yeah, that, guys, I'm going to bow out here because, frankly, Every single moment of this movie was fantastic. I loved it. I refuse to spoil it for you. It's a mystery thriller. You should go see the ending by yourself. Maybe in a month or so, when I'm confident everyone who's going to see it has seen it, I will discuss this in further length. But for now, guys, I'm Purple and I'm gonna bow out here because I think you should just go and fucking see this movie. So that's gonna be it for me. Have a good night and always remember to smile.